Alright, Lanta, so today we're jumping back into Guild Quest, this time around with access to the Nightmare Plus Espada Guild Quest phase, where we are getting an opportunity to once more use 9th Anniversary Kenpachi. But this is also, in a way, a special week, because again, it is a Nightmare Plus phase, what we are calling it. It does have 600 million score, and there are weakening plus pools, so keep that in mind before you attempt this quest. The thing that we are seeing right now is that the extra wave and the final boss on wave 5 are technic enemies in a way to kind of hurt Kenpachi as much as they can because he's such a good character. And also for you to maybe be more inclined to summon for Aizen, who is going to release tomorrow. So if you are summoning for Aizen, you get to try him out in Guild Quest tomorrow, where it's expected he is going to be a pretty safe and good character. The question is though, is he going to be better than Kenpachi? I think if you're a newer account, probably, but if you have a well-established account, especially a max Kenpachi like we do right now, you're probably just fine sticking with Kenpachi. And that's hopefully what we are going to do today, despite the enemies being technique. Because one thing we do know with this Guild Quest Phase 2 is that the extra waves actually have less HP. So despite them being technique, it doesn't hurt Kenpachi that much. But the main thing you really have to work around with Kenpachi is the weakening plus pools. Because obviously if you get hit by that, your damage is going to be non-existent. It's going to be 1 damage anytime you hit an enemy. Interestingly enough though, we are seeing people use Yachiru as the go-to leads. Melee Espada Guild Quest phase really doesn't have any other good character other than Kenpachi, which is why we are finally receiving a new unit in Aizen. So now you're going to have the option to use either Kenpachi or Aizen starting from tomorrow. If you do have Kenpachi, I have seen a 2 out of 5 Kenpachi beat this Guild Quest phase by himself, but you do have access to normal attack damage characters, so if you are struggling a bit in the extra ways, maybe, you know, having Masaki and also Rukia, especially together, is going to be really good. Masaki right now would be an amazing character to have. Unfortunately though, I do not own her. She's one of the best supports in the game for any other Guild Quest phase, regardless of Melee Espada. But of course, in this phase, she's really good because she can deal damage. But again, you got to make sure she has that 200% resistance. So what exactly are we doing for this Guild Quest phase, adapting to the weakening plus? Well, Kenpachi for the most part is going to stay the exact same. So when it comes to the accessories, use these 3 accessories. You can use the Lieutenant's badge, but because he already has so much Berserker, you don't really need to. Better just to focus on melee damage, killer effect, and spiritual pressure / focus. When it comes to the links, we're going with these 3 links. At least that's what I used last time. If he's not max transcended, maybe just stick with recharge and strong attack damage. Obviously, my Kenpachi is max transcended with full stamina and also damage to lacerated enemies as bonus abilities. Then Nanao is being used for the simple fact that she's a really good support unit. So again, she is going to provide us with that 30 SP. She's going to give us 30% more damage to enemies that are inflicted by a status omen, as well as the 20% summon damage. Since we are using the Mugetsu Soldier, we're also getting 20% more strong attack damage for Kenpachi. And then the last piece, but a very important piece to the team, is that we are using Rukia. So this is one of those situations where, you know, with the state of GQ, where we need to have that 200% resistance, Rukia is now seeing newfound usage in a Guild Quest phase that she's technically not supposed to be used in. So we're using her for the Team Boost Strong Attack 2, providing a 43% attack and focus increase. But Rukia also does have immunity to every status ailment at 100%. So I kind of never even thought about using her. But this pretty much means that Rukia, especially with Nanao, like these 2 as a combination, is going to be really good for any Soripa in any upcoming Guild Quest phase where there are status element pools on the floor. Because with these 2 characters, you're getting the team boost, you're getting that 200% immunity, and you're getting the bust from Nanao. You're getting the heals, you're getting the barriers. As long as your main lead can carry you with their own damage, this pretty much allows you to use this team every Guild Quest phase, just swapping out your main DPS. But again, that's only if you can clear it using your main damage dealer. In our case, we're using 9th Anniversary Kenpachi. It's the Kenpachi, come on. We shouldn't struggle that much, but we do need to play it a little bit safe, because Rukia does need to stand in the status zoom pool. Alright then, so let's see how this does go. So right now my game plan is pretty much to go ahead and use our EX attack and hopefully kill. I mean, that surprisingly killed. Okay, we'll take it. SA2. Did not mean for that to go as well as it did, truth be told. Okay, we're looking really good right now. So I am going with the strong attack damage and full stand build. Maybe it is better for me to go with recharge and strong attack damage, because we had no strong attack already there. Normally with this last strategy that we did do, we wanted to one-shot the one of the bosses with the SA3. And we missed the SA1 there. So I'm calling that a 45-second clear, because we should have pretty much cleared that. But I wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. Definitely room for improvement. Did not expect for that strong attack 3 to kill there. The idea was to hopefully kill the first wave with 1 attack. Let's SA3 now, though. We got the status on it, so we'll hold it down. So we can still almost one-shot a boss. SA1 goes to waste, unfortunately. But we do get to use the EX attack once more. So we get 2 opportunities to use that EX, which is going to do a lot of damage. Now, keep in mind, Rukia can actually ruin the run by inflicting freeze on the enemy. So keep that in mind. So hopefully that she doesn't actually ruin the run for us. Chance of her inflicting a Stasm is relatively low, so we don't have to really worry about that. Let's use our EX. SA2. SA1. Completely wasted that. Looking tight on time right now, but we are fine because we can just finish up with the SA3. So Kenpachi is still that guy. Kenpachi is still that guy. Granted, we are using a max Transcendent Kenpachi, but this phase is in a way against him, right? You have 4 technique bosses, and he can still clear it pretty easily too. That was even like a really good run. We could have definitely saved 5 to even 10 seconds with this team. Again, I've seen people get higher scores like 2 out of 5 Kenpachi, and it can get easier, but and it gets easier as well if you do have Misaki. Of course, you do need to make sure you give them the resistance to weakening through bonus abilities, accessories, character links, etc. It's a shame that I'm missing Misaki, but at least I don't have to work around giving her immunity. And then you also have Rukia too, the Mind one, the Fierce Battle one, for normal attack damage or so. She has, I believe, Flurry +2. So it's actually still really impressive with the amount of HP the enemies do have, that Kenpachi by himself is still able to pretty much solo it. So attempt number 2, let's try that again. So hopefully Ruki can walk into the middle, because there we go. That's what we want to do, but unfortunately an enemy somehow did not die there. I don't know how. I have no idea how, but we'll take it. SA1. Almost one-shot there. I think we did lose the SP boost, so had we one-shot the last boss, we could have already been on to wave 5 by now, potentially. Got the weakening proc there. Had no strong attack to follow up, so unfortunately this isn't going to kill, but we can just let our SA3 go straight away, like that. or Soul Bomb into the 1. And then I guess we'll use our 2. It's a little bit slower. A little bit slower. But I just want to see how consistent the extra waves are. Can we beat it now? Even though we failed to beat our last previous score. We need to make sure we stand far back. We do not have the... Well, the last rate's now been applied. Now we have the barrier. So now we can play it a bit safe. Let's just make sure we don't waste any strong attacks here. Use my SA4. We're going to charge up. Did we get inflicted by weakening? How did we miss that there? It's a bit hard to keep track sometimes of where the enemies are. Right, SA2. We're about to go into the next wave. So in this case, we'll use our EX now to kill. SA1. Into the 3. Boosters activated. So now our damage is at max. Look at that damage right there. Into the 2. Pretty much same clear time. 8 seconds remaining for the most part. Even though we did clear a little bit slower. Again, Kenpachi's damage output is still just absolutely insane for a character that is. I mean, he's any character. He's almost a year and a half old now, but I am very curious to see how Aizen is going to perform tomorrow. Because even if Aizen has an easier time with the extra waves, you know, being technique, the extra waves are fine right now. I'm clearing the extra waves, no problem with Kenpachi. My focus more so is how I can clear the first 5 waves a lot faster. But the question now is Aizen going to be able to clear faster than Kenpachi? At least mine at 5 out of 5. Because that's the reason why I'm likely not going to summon tomorrow. Because I'm clearing this GQ just fine. Aizen will be great to have. He's a cool unit. But is he even going to improve my scores at 1 out of 5? The benefit though is that he will have an easy time because he doesn't need Rukia, for example, to give him that immunity. So let's try one last run this time. Try and get a little bit better than 45. So I think flash step into the left like, oh, okay. That's good. Can we kill Zalpado? Yes, we can. Onto Grimjow. SA3, or SA2, sorry. That actually should have killed there. So that's kind of unfortunate, because what we could have done was used our Soul Bomb into the 1, which we'll do now. And I didn't see where Aaroniero was, unfortunately, so we do have to waste a little bit of time. And then for Aaroniero, SA3 into the 2. Into the 1 a little bit faster. We're going to end it there because I feel like I've done enough runs, but I'm definitely going to retry my own time and get at least 45 to upwards to 50 seconds because there's, again, with Kenpachi potential. With the build right now, it's really all about whether you can one-shot each boss. So clearing's not really much of an issue right now. We do have to wait a little bit. So this is an example of what I mean where Rukia actually ruin runs, unfortunately, because we don't have Weakening Plus or Statusman Plus. So Rukia actually inflicted the Aaroniero twice in a row, by the way, with freeze. That is ridiculous. That kind of slowed us down heavy, but we can maybe make up for it. So let's use our SA1. Come over here, SA3. Charge it up. There we go. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. Absolutely insane. Even if it looks like it's super close on time in the extra waves, once you get your EX move again, you're absolutely golden. Absolutely golden. So Kenpachi still has it. Still has it. Again, like I said, doesn't affect him that much. You know, it still technically affects his scores. Normally, Kenpachi can get up to like 55 seconds, but you know, the enemies do have more HP. You have to work around, use different teams, for example. But in a way, it's a good thing right now that this guild quest is available because it kind of tells you tomorrow if you need to summon or not. I mean, if you are summoning tomorrow, it's likely because you want Aizen or Bambietta. But this is pretty much telling me that I don't need either new character. I would like to have them, would love to have them, but I technically don't need them right now because I'm fine with still using Kenpachi, my GOAT, my OG. I mean, the 9th anniversary character choicing was quite controversial, more so Grammy over Kenpachi, but Kenpachi has been one of the highlights in Brave Souls, at least in my opinion.